Hello YouTube, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Robert SK for Drimax School of Photography, and in today's video I'm going to share with you guys how I do dodge and burn. First of all, what is dodge and burn? Dodge and burn is literally working with shadows and highlights, or messing with shadows and highlights, so that you can create more depth in your image or in your photos. Without further ado, let's dive into the video. Step number one, first of all, I'm going to show you two methods of dodging and burning. One is we shall be using curves adjustment layers, and the next one we shall be using 50% gray fill layers. So let's start with the curves adjustment layer method. With that method, first of all, what you do, you come to your layers panel here, and you create a new curves adjustment layer here. Then you come to layer blending mode, you select screen. When you select screen, more light will come onto your image, and this will help us to add more light in our highlights. So we are going to name this dodge. So we are going to use this layer to dodge our image. So the next step is you come to the layer mask and you invert it. In order to invert it, on Windows you press Ctrl I, on Mac you press Command I. Yes. The next step, you're going to create a new curves adjustment layer again, like that. You come to the blending options of the layer and you select multiply. When you select multiply, your image will darken. And when your image darkens, this layer will help us to work with the shadows, to burn the shadows. So I'm going to name this layer burn. After doing that, I also invert this layer mask. I press Command I or Ctrl I on Windows, just like that. So the next step, I'm going to group these layers and name this group dodge and burn, just like you see there. So let me first show you the areas where I'm going to be working on my image. Let me first create a blank layer and I get my brush tool just for study purposes. I'll get a blue color here. The areas you are going to dodge are the highlights. I'm going to dodge this area here of the forehead. I'll dodge this area here. I'll dodge this area here which has a little bit of light. I'll add dodge onto this area, just like you see. When you come this side, you see that you need to dodge the collarbones or the clavicle. You need to dodge the areas that are popping out, like the knuckles. You need to dodge the pointed part of the nose, just like that. Yes, the areas I'm going to burn, let me change the color so that you can differentiate. I'm going to burn this area here, which is a little bit dark. I'm going to burn this area. I'm going to add more burn onto this area. I'm going to burn this area of the neck. I'm going to burn these areas that are a little bit dark around the neck area. Yes, you'll find that we shall add more dimension to our image. Yes, just like that. When you look at this, these are the areas that you're going to work on. The areas with the blue circles are the areas that we are going to dodge, and the areas with a red circle are the areas that we are going to burn. Yes, that done. Let's get to work. Yes, in order to dodge, first of all, I'm going to add a black and white adjustment layer here, just like you see, and kill the reds. I'll kill the reds a little bit and the yellows so that I can easily see my highlights. Then I go to my dodge. I'll select a brush tool here. I'll make sure I have a soft round brush for that purpose, and the diameter will depend on the surface area which I'm going to be working on. I'll keep my flow at a very low value. For this, we shall keep it at 5. You can keep it between 3 and 5. And we're going to start dodging now. So in order to dodge, I'm going to be adding more light to the areas that I showed you previously. Yes, just like you see there. And you see that I'm reducing I'm changing my diameter size of the brush depending on the surface area I'm working on. It is not restricted to one size, because different surface areas have need different sizes of the brush. So when you look at my image here, yes, I think that is that. We work on the collarbones here, the clavicle, just like you see. Need to dodge the highlighted areas of the neck. Sorry about that. Yes. So this is what we call dodging. So normally when I'm working, I normally switch off my frequency separation layer so that I can easily see my original image, the way my lighting was in the before I did my blending of the frequency separation. Normally when we do frequency separation, we kind of mess up with the tones, so it is dodge and burn that helps us to bring them back. So I'm going to switch off the frequency separation group so that I can see my original image, just like you see there. Yes, I think this is giving us more information of the image. I think I'm done dodging. Let me switch off this black and white and I put back my frequency separation. I think I like what I see. I just don't like areas around this part here. So what we do, we switch to a black. We are going to paint black over the layer mask at this part so that we can remove that. Let me first put back my flow to maximum. Yes, and we are going to redo that. We go back to white and we drop down our flow. Yes, I think that is okay. I'm trying to put more emphasis on the cheekbones so that I can emphasize them. Yes, that done, you're going to do burning of our image. When you come to the burn layer, the burn layer here, you switch off the frequency separation again, and now you're going to work with the shadows. Remember, like I told you, we burn the shadows, just like you see there. You don't paint too much, because the more you paint, the more the effect. Let me put back my frequency separation layer. So let me show you a little bit of the before and the after. This is the before, which was kind of flat, and this is after. What you are going to do, in order to reduce the effect, you're going to drop down the opacity of the whole group, just like you see there. So I think this is better than what we had before. This is the before, and that is the after. Before and after. Yes, that is it for the curves adjustment layer method. So that is my best method when I'm working. Remember, when you're working the curves adjustment layer, you have a limit. That is why I prefer using the curves adjustment layer to the 50% gray method. But I'll show you the 50% gray method as well, and you can choose which one you like better. So I'll switch off this. For the 50% gray layer, for the 50% gray fill method, what you're going to do, you're going to create a new layer. We come here to the layers panel, you click on this add icon that has plus to create a new layer like that, and you go to edit, you come to fill, and you fill 50% gray like that. Make sure your opacity is at 100, and you press OK. When you press OK, you have a grayish kind of look like this one. And now you're going to come to our layers blending mode, and we select soft light. We shall duplicate this layer first. We right click and you say duplicate layer, or you can press Command J or Control J on your keyboard. I name this layer Dodge, and I'll name this Burn. Yes, then I'll group these layers up. I'll do this in small letters to differentiate it from the previous method. Yes, just like that. And this time round, you're going to use the dodge and burn tool when you are working. So in order to dodge, remember, like I told you, you're going to dodge the highlights and burn the shadows. So we are going to add a black and white adjustment layer again, and we kill the reds to have more information of the highlights. So we come to our dodge tool here. What happens is you have to drop down the exposure to around 3%, and you're going to work with that. In order to see where you're going to burn very well, you turn off the frequency separation layer, frequency separation group, so that you can have the original lighting information. So what we do next is we start dodging the highlights. Make sure you have a soft round brush for that purpose. Yes, the effect comes slowly, but you have to give it time. You have to take your time when you're doing this, when you're using this method, because when you do one mistake, you can't undo it. You will need to go back to where you started from. That is one disadvantage about this method, though it is very good for dodging and burning. Yes, just like you see there. Try to emphasize the cheekbones here under the eyes, the eye shadows as well. The chin area, I think, needs to be highlighted. Yes, the lipstick has some highlights, and we need to remove that. We need to dodge that. Yes, also need to work on the collarbones here. So this is very simple, just like you can see. You're trying to emphasize where there are highlights. Let's check a little bit of the before and the after. We see if we have any progress. This is before and that is after. Yes, let me first switch off the black and white, and I bring back my frequency separation. I think we have a good result for dodging. The next step, we are going to do burning. We come to burn, the burn layer, and we select the burn tool here. And select the burn tool, you have to make sure it is having exposure 3%. You're working with mid-tones. The areas you're going to burn and are these areas that have shadows, in order to shape up our face a little bit. Also to work on this area to shape the nose. Yes, just like you can see. I think this is very simple. Let's see a little bit of the before and the after. Before burning, and this is after burning. This is before, this is after. Yes, when I unsee the whole group, you see that we have a very big difference, and our image is now standing out compared to the way it was before. Yes, this is what I do when I'm doing dodge and burn. Those are the two methods. Let's see the difference between the methods. This is the method for 50% gray. When I switch it off and I put this on, this is the method for curves adjustment layers. I think they both give us good results. Just that I did this in a rush. You really not to waste a lot of your time, but you need to take your time when you're working with the tones. I think that is it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell, the icon besides the subscribe button, in order to be the first person to see when I post, every time I post a new video, because I have a lot of videos coming. Don't forget to like this video and share it. Tell me your reviews and suggestions in the comment section below. My name is Robert SK for Drimax School of Photography. I'll see you next time.